Hey there, everyone. I'm Samuel Johnson, and welcome back to the Phantom Perspectives. And today we're going to be discussing episode 48 of Danny Phantom, Claw of the Wild. And I guess now they're actually doing a summer vacation episode, even though previous episodes had Danny and Kobe in high school, and I'm guessing that the next two episodes are going to have them still be are going to be back in high school. But whatever. Apparently, this episode has Danny, Sam, Tucker, pretty much all of their classmates going to a summer camp called Camp Skull and Crossbones. Don't you just love that name? It's just screams summer fun. And it's a crap heap. It's a crap heap. And the only one that's kind of looking forward to it is Sam because she wants to commune with nature and so forth. But it's just sucky, especially when the camp counselors are revealed to be Mr. Lancer and their gym teacher, whose name I don't know because there wasn't. I don't think I've actually heard it said out loud before, and if it was, I think it was only like one time. So, pretty much no one's thinking this is going to be a good thing, and even Sam eventually gives up hope when she's thrown into a cabin with Paulina and Star. But things kind of take a quick however things kind of take another turn for the worse when one of the campers goes missing, followed by two more campers later on. They claim that a monster attacked them and ate them, and Danny, Sam, and Tucker decide that they're going to investigate. And something I like is that they actually did bring some of their ghost fighting tech with them. So they took like a Fenton thermos and two portable blasters, which makes sense. That makes sense, yeah. Because I think at this point they realize that they're not going to have a break, even if they are on break, so to speak. So whatever. And upon going out, they do actually encounter some ghost monsters. They seem to encounter a fish mutant, a yeti. I think you can call it a third one, which I don't quite remember. But pretty much But as they keep and they're able to take care of them, but it's quick. But again, more campers start going missing, and it's becoming quickly apparent that someone else is there, and that someone else is revealed to be Walker and his men, who it turns out are here looking for someone, specifically Wolf. As it turns out that Wolf actually managed to break out of Walker's prison again, opening up another gateway with his claws, and coincidentally wound up at the summer camp where everyone else is. A side effect of this, however, is that all the other monsters are getting out of the ghost zone, not because of Walker and his men, just they're wandering through the portal. And as such, that's why Danny and Co have been fighting them. Walker and his men are just here for Wolf, and part of the reason, and they're also the ones that are taking the campers. As in the beginning, it was just that their search wouldn't be found out by the campers, but one of Walker's men happened to see Danny take down one of the ghost zone monsters that escaped into the human world, and so after that, they just started taking camper. They eventually managed to kidnap all the campers, save for Danny and Sam, to use as bargaining chips. As such, Wolf is also a little bit injured. They're able to heal him with some berry paste, but at that point, Walker's men give Danny an ultimatum. They even giving him Tucker's hat as a bit of as proof of the proof that they have the campers. So they tell them that they want to bring Wolf to the ghost zone to release his friends, though even Danny and Sam realize that this is probably a trap. And on top of that, Wolf is their friend, so they don't want to hand him over so easily. So they manage to devise a plan. As the camp mascot is this bear thing, I don't know what it's called, but pretty much to try and fool Walker and his men, they have Sam put it on and they stuff her into an oversized gym bag and they fly in. They fly into the ghost zone and go into Walker's prison. And of course, Walker does turn the tables on them when Tucker and the rest of the campers were taken. Tucker was the one with the Fenton thermos. Danny wound up leaving it behind when he went to fight another ghost. Don't know why. Guess it was just one of those things. I actually would buy that because I've done stuff like that before, even for important things. And so he used that to suck Danny in, which I guess it kind of makes sense. Dark Danny was able to be sucked in. Was he ever sucked into the Fenton thermos? I know he was sucked in by other Fenton tech. I know that was that vacuum cleaner, but whatever. But either way, they think that they're good. Walker Walker, of course, and yeah, you knew that Walker was going to betray him because part of the reason, because again, Walker still wants to capture Danny after escaping. He still sees Danny as one of his prisoners. But yeah, at that point, Sam makes a move, jumping out of the duffel bag and ditching the costume, and just starts blasting everybody, and even grabbing the thermos and running through the walls. However, they still have to find a way to free all the campers, and a nice little thing that I kind of like in the episode is that Walker actually put everyone to stay of suspended animation, which I think kind of makes sense. While I still will call BS on the whole humans are able to pass through everything in the ghost zone, which I still think is a load, but whatever. Considering that that happened in the episode where Walker was introduced, it makes sense that he would actually go to extra lengths to keep humans captured, especially keeping them in suspended animation. As this way, they won't be able because if they didn't do this, then the humans would just be able to walk out of the prison, which kind of like that. Smart thinking. But either way, unfortunately, Walker and his men are still on them, and while they are able to put up a decent enough fight against them, it looks like they're going to be outmanned until Wolf comes in from literally out of nowhere. He just shows up like he wasn't there a minute ago. Suddenly he just jumps in and attacks Walker. He comes in and gives them enough of an edge so that they can blast away the rest of Walker's men, and Danny can freeze Walker in place. At which point they are able to get all the campers out of the suspended animation and go back to the human world. And Danny somehow reversed the polarity on the Fenton thermos and blast the rip that Wolf made so that it's closed up. I didn't know the Fenton thermos could do that, but whatever. I'm not the son of ghost hunters. And even then, I don't think Danny could actually do that. I mean, yeah, he got the Fenton thermos working, but that's only because he ingested it with his power. But again, whatever. Also, didn't he have like 2 of those things before? I'm sorry, nitpicking. So, well, they let Wolf go free because now Walker can't come after him, and so they free Tucker and decide to release the rest of the campers in the morning so that let them think they had a dream, and so the trio sit back and decide to watch the stars while listening to the sound of nature, and Tucker eventually falls asleep, so Danny and Sam are alone, and the episode ends on a on a nice adorable thing where Danny almost puts his hand on Sam's shoulder. It's cute. I like it. So what did I think about this episode? Honestly, I guess I don't know. I don't think I hate I kind of disliked the episode, I'll admit. But there was some things in there I liked, I think. Like, it was nice to see Wolf again, I suppose. I kind of liked some of the jokes with the group trying to get used to with the group trying to accept this trying to get used to this crappy camp or so forth. But yeah, I don't think I like this episode. I can't really. I thought I liked it, but I don't. Again, there are things in there I like. I like seeing Wolf again, because the last time we saw him, he was being pulled back into the ghost zone and turned back into Walker's prisoner, so it's nice seeing him again at least. And I kind of expected him to show up, considering the episode is called Claw of the Wild. But there are still some nice jokes about the whole nature aspect, about the nature thing, and up till Walker's men show up, it does kind of have a nice little bit of, it does have some nice disturbing atmosphere to it, but I'm sorry to say, but I don't think I liked this episode. For starters, I don't really care that much for Walker as a villain. And on top of that, I don't know for certain, but I think there's a little bit of out of character moments with him. Not a lot, because I think this is the 3rd episode where he's been the villain. Where he's been the villain of the story. The first episode was Prisoners of Love, where he made his appearance, and the second one was, I forgot the episode title, but it was the episode where he framed Danny for a bunch of ghost attacks. So I don't really know that much, so I don't know. But so I think it kind of does make sense that he'd capture humans to use as bargaining tools for Danny, though in the end of the day, though he openly admitted he was not going to let them go, which I think is kind of dumb, but whatever. Which I don't know if he would make that one to do, but whatever. again, this is like the third time we've actually seen him as a villain. But I don't like the environments, for starters. Like, I don't like Camp Skull and Crossbones. It's just not. It's just like a. It's like a. I feel like it's not, it doesn't really have a lot of humor, and it's just a setting. It's just a blank setting, and aside from like two moments in the episode, like one moment when they're following Wolf to where he opened up his portal to the end of the episode, they didn't have a lot of moments that took advantage of the situation. They could have had them like be at school, and this would have still been and they could have had this exact same plot again. There would probably still be a couple moments here and there, but that would probably be different. But otherwise, the story would still be the exact same. Students are going missing because Wolf is free or whatever. It could have taken place anywhere. But the downside with this is that Skull and Crossbones is a dang piece of crap place. It is dirty, grimy. The colors are just muted and gray. It's the same problem I had with the Kraken episode of Ben 10. The environment is just dull and not that interesting to look at, and it's just kind of blah because of that. Again, I already mentioned that I don't like Walker. And on top of that, again, I feel like this is another missed opportunity for what could have been a nice thriller episode. Because there are monsters, I feel like it could have been better. Of course you kind of had to know it had to be a ghost that was kidnapping these kids. But I feel like it would have been better if you didn't actually see what the ghost was. Like, you could see, or at the very least, maybe the monsters were, like, scouts for Walker and his men. Like the same way that Wolf was at one point. But unfortunately, it's a little disappointing that it turns out that they're just coincidence, if you ask me. Like, that felt like I guess you didn't have, but I feel like you could have had like an actual monster that was out there hunting the kids, and that I think that would have added a bit of like serial killer Friday the 13th style to the story, while still having Danny come in and save them. I think that would have been cool, add a bit more tension to it. But the fact that we have Walker here, I think it kind of lowers it down a bit because of that. I feel like they kind of. I just feel like it was just all. I feel like as such, I feel like they could have had the tension be built up a lot higher. Like, maybe make it look, or like maybe you could have Wolf maybe Danny thinks that maybe Wolf did it. Like, he doesn't want to believe it, but then suddenly it's confirmed that it's Walker and his men. I think that would have been nice, but then again, I still don't like Walker, I guess. But again, I feel like it could have had the tension up higher. But I think it kind of lessens it a little when you actually see Danny and co fight the various ghosts, and Danny beats them every time. I think it would have been cool if he got away and these people were still going, and then another monster shows up and thinking, what's going on? It's like a pack. And again, it would have been cool if they were Walker and his men. But as for what it is, I feel like it was just the story just kind of feels like a missed opportunity because of that. And again, I don't hate this episode. I didn't like it, but I don't hate this episode either. It's just because it does have some nice moments. Like, there is some humor to be found here that I think is fun. Like seeing Sam, Danny, and Tucker kind of suffering in their respective cabins. Tucker and Danny just ignoring nature so they can have to play on their stuff and so forth. I like seeing Wolf again because it was nice seeing him. He was nice. I liked him. And Danny and Sam, and this episode has just more Danny and Sam shipping, which I think is just adorable. I think it's just adorable whenever I see it, and the fact that the episode ended on a nice little bit of nice little ship tease, I liked that. I liked that a lot, and it's just so gosh darn cute, and I love it. It's just, I think the rest of the episode could have been better. I didn't like the environments. I don't like the villain. I think the story really was a missed opportunity. Was a missed opportunity, and was just kind of a missed opportunity, and it should have been kind of better. Like, it could, like, maybe, like, just kind of maybe could have been like one of those slasher type of things, or better yet, actually could have shown these people getting captured. You don't even have to see the ghost that's catching them at that point. You can just see them wandering off alone, and it's only a shadow. They see it, they scream. That would have been cool, I think, at the very least. And then whoever was with them could hear them screaming, go check on them, and then run off. I don't know. I just feel like it could have been a lot better. I feel like the episode was just a missed opportunity at the end of the day. I didn't like the environments. I don't like the villain. And the story, I think, really could have handled some improvements. But I did like some of the humor. I liked seeing Wolf again, and the Sam Danny stuff is always cute. So yeah, on the whole, I didn't hate it, but I don't like this episode. It's just blah. Not awful, but just kind of blah. Just kind of Just yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. I'm Samuel Johnson, and tune in next week. Take care.